Tory Lanez has been sentenced.
Yep.
I said it. We said here we will not report on this until the case is over. And it would seem the case is over. Although, let me let y'all know,
there will be an appeal.
it's already in the process.
Yeah.
As soon as the guilty verdict came, they had to wait for sentencing to finish,
Of course, yeah.
to file an appeal, and
it's already done, yeah.
it's already in the works.
Yep.
So Tory Lanez was sentenced to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking at possibly facing up to 30 years, depending on how sentencing went. And so he got 10 years. He was also granted 364 days served.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he got credit for a little less than a year. 1 day less than a year. Which is weird, because just give him the year. But anyway.
Nah, you ever watch one of those? You ever watch one of those prison shows
Yes.
when they teach you how to calculate the years? It's fascinating. But yeah, no. If they tell you it's 364, it's 364. That 1 day they.
No, they purposely didn't count it. I know,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying I could have gave him the day. Anyway, Tory Lanez was found guilty.
Okay, Warden.
Tory Lanez was given 10 years. The internet has a lot of feelings on it.
I hate the internet. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were gonna say that, but it just, I had such a strong reaction to it because I freaking hate the internet. The internet always got a lot of reactions. Man, fuck the internet. Sorry, please carry on. I would love to hear what you have to say.
That happened.
Chris?
No, that's staying. Vetoed. Pop.
No, that's not how this works.
Vetoed. Pop. Overruled. Pop.
I freaking hate the internet.
That's gotta stay. Too good to take out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he could have served up to 30 years. He was sentenced to 10. I heard 25. I've heard 30. It doesn't matter. He got 10. And so he was sentenced to 10 years. Yes.
No, I said yep.
Oh. He was sentenced to 10 years. And I don't know. I think it's interesting that the internet has such a big reaction. Mm-hmm. One thing I will say is I do think it's foul that some of the letters that were written in private, support letters that were written in private, have been publicly exposed or leaked, whatever term you like. People know exactly what celebrities said in support of him. Being blunt, now that it's all over, I don't have closure on the incident. I still don't know what the hell really happened. I don't think anybody knows what the hell really happened. I think there are certain things we know for sure, but what happened from start to finish in this incident, I don't think we really know. That's my opinion. I don't know what fully happened. I know there are specific things we know because it was confirmed by multiple parties.
Right.
But there are so many spots in this event that are blank spots. Mm-hmm. It's really weird, and I don't want to argue with internet folks or with you about could have happened, should have happened, this lied, that lied, this person didn't testify. I don't want to argue about any of that.
I mean, I don't think it matters anymore.
I'm going to say this. Mm-hmm. He was found guilty. Mm-hmm. And I know there are people that want to cancel him. I'm not canceling him. When this first happened, I said I'm not going to support him until I know more. I don't really feel I know more. And so he got sentenced. He's going to do whatever time he does. Or he'll appeal and it'll get thrown out. I don't know. But I don't feel a need to cancel him. I don't feel it's clear that he shot her or did not shoot her. Also, I still think, which we said here before, I don't think a lot of people really understand what he was charged with. Mm-hmm. And so some of the things that he was found guilty of, they're not necessarily about shooting her. Mm-hmm. Pause on purpose. I think that y'all need to let that soak in and really register that this was not a domestic violence crime. He's not charged with domestic violence. He's not charged with shooting her. And I think y'all need to understand that when y'all talk about these charges. So I'm not supporting him. I feel honestly like confused still. And so people are saying that he got too much time. Other people are saying he didn't get enough time. Some people say the judge was too lenient. Other people say the judge was too harsh. Listen, man, I don't know what to tell you. All I can say is his defense did a terrible job. That is for sure. His new attorney is not playing around. And if y'all don't know who his attorney is, y'all should go look up him and his history. That guy does not fuck around. And so y'all should go check it out. I think that whether he is going to successfully have an appeal or not, there's going to be a lot more that we hear about this case and about changes that are happening in the case. People are talking about early programs where he'll be released, even though they said no. In that state, it's 85% of the time. He might be deported, he might not. I don't know, and honestly, none of that shit really moves me. I don't really care. Like, dude got 10 years. He did some things that he shouldn't have did. That part is clear. I still don't know if he shot her or not. And that's not even the charge. So all of this shit is really weird to me. I still think there was a lot of foul play. I still think there was a lot of big movers and shakers doing things behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And I still don't understand how some people had to testify, some people didn't, and where the fuck is the driver? Nobody still knows. So, I don't know, man.
Well, and I think that happens sometimes with legal cases anyway. That's this.
It's kind of weird that it happened in such a high profile. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the disappearing guy.
Well, that and a lot of the nuance that you brought up and that we've seen, I think that there's all they're looking to prove is beyond a reasonable doubt, and that is with the understanding that you may never get all of the facts, or some of the facts may be inaccurate, which I guess doesn't make them facts, but
alternative facts.
Right. But yeah, I think that that's a pretty common thing that happens. I think that, but because this was a high profile case, that it raises even more questions about why, if y'all had the resources, what happened to this person and all of that. But
there's just so many rich people involved.
But also because of that, it is not that curious to me that witnesses would disappear and certain people wouldn't have to testify, because they are also afforded advantages that people like me and you are not. So I think that there's a lot at play when it comes to this case.
Yep.
I think that what was decided, and like you said, not here to debate about whether it should or shouldn't be. What I did want to correct though is that it wasn't 30 years. It was up to 13 years he could have gotten based on the charges.
Really? I heard multiple reports saying 25 and 30.
I've only heard 13 in this article.
Listen, I'm fine with being wrong, and if so, I'm glad you were able to correct it. But I have heard much higher numbers than 13.
I think those are wrong.
Okay. Listen, I'm okay with that.
This is from Billboard, and I heard this somewhere else too.
Yeah, Billboard reporting on this is wild. Anyway,
I mean, but I guess Billboard kind of has to. Like, it's about two music artists. Yep. Meg Thee Stallion is a huge artist. Tory Lanez is not that far behind.
Well, people have argued that when it happened, he was the bigger star.
Yeah.
He had quarantine radio. He had just gotten a multi-million-dollar deal with YouTube.
Yeah.
And the proof is in the pudding. When he was in the midst of when the trial was coming up, he released a NFT project. Mm-hmm. It was $1 for the project. He sold 1 million copies. Mm-hmm. Or rather, he sold 1 million NFTs.
Right.
Same thing. The NFT was for the album. It's the only way you could get the album. People bought 1 million of them.
Yeah. So, and he maintains his innocent. He maintains that he's innocent.
Yep.
And
People have been reacting to that as well.
He said that he will do everything possible to make sure that he becomes victorious in this.
That's what he said.
Listen,
and a lot more.
There's I didn't know his fans were called umbrellas, but that's.
Oh, you either?
No, I didn't.
I thought I was the only one because
I said
I've heard that multiple places. No, apparently not.
At first, I thought they were talking about Meg, and I was
really
like,
to
umbrellas?
know-
That's Rihanna.
I really would like to know where that came from. And I thought like your quote unquote hive had to have some connection to your name or your music. What the fuck? Umbrellas?
I don't know what an umbrella is.
Listen, I gotta figure this out. I need to have like the lions with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I can't say the pride because that one's taken.
That one's taken. But the lions is cute.
Well, and I gotta figure something out.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I mean-
the intellectuals, something.
Yeah.
I gotta figure it out. Maybe put out shirts. We are anyway.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Thanks.
This whole thing has made me uncomfortable the entire time that it's been happening from the very beginning, and I just feel like
It's been a circus.
I said on hardly, so I'll maintain my
Stance.
Your consequences have actions. Your actions have consequences.
You just turned into Yoda right
Sorry, your actions have consequences, and
now. Sorry.
if
Gotta get you a Yoda shirt now.
if that is what the situation is, if that is what happened, or at least has been resolved as happened. Now, I remember telling you, I called you when the trial ended and that phone call to Kelsey happened.
Yes.
I called you and I said he did that shit.
Yep.
And I believe in my heart that phone call was very telling of what happened. Now, as far as how we got there and the order of events and all of that, and who was wrong and who was not wrong, or whatever the case may be, that phone call sealed the deal for me. And any doubt that I may have had, I was like, I don't know. This sounds like... And I think the thing for me, and then again, I don't want to litigate it at this point. It's already been done. But the other thing for me that got me, and that he tried to mend last week when he should have not done it in the first place, was he tried to antagonize her throughout after whatever had happened.
Yeah.
And the judge made sure to make a point. Sorry.
No, you're right. Go ahead.
The judge made sure to make a point to let him know your behavior after this happened didn't help your situation.
Yep.
And contributed to the way that you were sentenced. Let's say, for argument's sake, let's say he's telling the truth. When you have legal stuff on the table, that has to become your focus.
Yep.
Sticking it to her publicly shouldn't have been his focus, and for a long time it was. And he continued, and it's even worse if he did, or it's even worse if he did do it and then proceeded to antagonize her throughout it. Right? So for me, it's like, you were an adult, right? And you have a lot riding on this, not just your career, you have a child.
Yep.
Like, you needed to handle whatever happened that day. After that, you needed to handle this situation like an adult who had things to lose, and he behaved like he didn't.
That's true.
And like I said, your why do I keep doing that?
Yoda.
Your actions have consequences, and I just feel like he did not if he is going to hold on to his innocence and he is going to keep telling us that he's innocent, he should have handled this way better than he did after it had happened and a year, 2, 3 years have gone by at this point.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I said I put a lot of that on the defense team. Part of having a team to help you litigate is also not only helping you prepare to argue, not only gathering evidence, not only speaking to witnesses and seeing who's on our side and helping choose the jury. That's all part of what we see on TV and we know, but there's also a part of them telling you, hey, this is what you need to not do. Hey, I'm going to take your phone because you're wilding out.
Right.
Hey, make sure that you follow the restraining order. Whatever, there's all this different stuff that is almost like a PR team also.
Right.
If you watch any big case, you see people's behavior shift at certain points. It's because their team is telling them, hey, man, you need to calm down right now.
That doesn't mean you listen.
Hey, man, don't do that.
I agree.
Hey, man, you can't be doing this. Hey, or the opposite. Hey, you know what you need to do right now?
Yeah,
they
get coached
You need to start wearing
on
wearing this type of clothes.
Yeah.
You need to start going to these type of functions.
Y'all think Jonathan Majors showed up in a wrinkled suit just because?
Yes.
No, I don't believe that.
He